Okay, friends, we are going to learn about the number 1. If you were in math class today when we were doing it live, I would still like for you to watch this very short video about the number 1 because I want you to see how you're going to turn in your work when you're all done with it, and it's good review. So you're going to click on your slide right underneath this video that is for number 1, and then you're going to work on it. It will open up and you'll be able to draw in it. When we're drawing in it, all we have to do is click on that little crayon here, and we can either hold down on our little pad where our finger goes. We can hold down that left button, and then that allows us to draw. If you have a mouse, you hold down the left button and then move the mouse around and you'll be able to draw. And some friends have a screen that if you touch the screen and move your finger around on the screen, you'll be able to draw. So however the computer that you are using works, that's how you're going to be able to draw on here. And we will use Nearpod a lot this year, so I want you to be very comfortable drawing on it. All right. So if you did not already practice writing the number 1, I want you to practice here. You should have watched that short video on how to write the number 1, and you know when we are writing the number 1, we start at the black dot and we draw a long line down. Start at the black dot and draw a long line down. Start at the black dot and draw a long line down. Hopefully you've already done this, but when you go to your Nearpod slides, you'll be able to do it. And then you should have done your handwriting book already, which was page 82, practicing your number 1s and then starring your favorite one to send me a picture of the one that you, or the whole page, in either Google Classroom or through email so I can see which one you think you did the best on. All right, now, there's many different ways that we can show the number 1, and we talked about this in math class today, and if you weren't there, you're going to get to listen to the whole thing. If you were there, then this will be a great review for you. The number 1 can be shown like this, where it looks like the number 1. Now, it's not the same way that we draw it. That's because it's a little fancier. When we draw the number 1, we are busy doing math. So we are going to draw it the simplest way, which is just one long line down, just like we were practicing. So you don't need these extra little parts to your number 1. When you write the word number 1, we spell it O-N-E. And that's the only way that we spell the word number 1 for the number 1. Now, there's lots of different ways to show the number 1 when we are doing math. Sometimes you might use a base 10 block. That's a little block like this. You should have them in your bag that I sent your materials home with. Sometimes you will use connecting cubes. This is one connecting cube. They become very important when we're counting, but also when we're adding and subtracting. Here is one colored counter. Again, we'll use them when we're counting, but also for addition and subtraction. Sometimes we use dice, and maybe we're playing a game, or maybe we're doing addition and subtraction, but we need to be able to tell what number it is. Because there is only one dot on this die, that means it's the number 1. Sometimes we use dominoes. Dominoes often have dots on both sides, but because this one is for the number 1, there's only one dot on it. Sometimes we use our fingers to show a number. This is a hand showing the number 1. And then this last one is a 10 frame. A 10 frame has spaces for 10 colored counters. Here I've only put one colored counter because it shows the number 1. Your activity today is to draw one circle in each box. So you'll go to your slides and you'll go through making one circle in each box. It's okay if you want to change the color, but don't take too long changing your color. Notice that I only have one circle in each box. That's because I'm following instructions. I wouldn't want to see 2 circles, and I certainly don't want to see a dog since we're only drawing circles here. Once you do that, you'll click the arrow and go to the next slide. This time I want you to circle all of the number 1s. So you'll go through and find the number ones and circle them. Is this a number 1? No, it's the number 3, so I won't circle that. But I will circle all of these ones. This helps us to recognize the number quickly, so when we are doing our math, we know what number it is. The last part I want you to do is you're going to be working with tally marks, fingers, dominoes, and dice. Oh, and also 10 frames to figure out the different numbers. This is a special color by number, and it will reveal a picture when you're finished. Here you're going to count. Now these are tally marks. I'm going to count the tally marks one by one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tally marks. When I look here for the number 4, I should color that area green. I'm going to click on the crayon, click the green crayon, and then I'm going to color in just this part here with the color green. I want to make sure that I'm coloring it correctly because that tells Mrs. McClune that you know what number was there. I also want to make sure that I'm doing a neat job because I'm showing that I am prepared and I'm ready for class when I do my best work. I'm also being considerate. The next number here, there are 1, 2, 3 fingers. I see the crayon that has the 3 underneath and the color is blue. So I'll change my crayon to the color blue. This helps us practice our numbers because we're not always working with the number 1. And it helps us practice our hand-eye coordination, which is important in first grade too. So I'm going to do my very best to try to color this in neatly, staying in those lines. But if I go outside the lines, it's okay. It's just a mistake, and I'm not too upset. And I'm not upset when we make mistakes because we're learning. This one does not have any color counters in it. That means it's the number 0. And the 0 I should leave white. So I will not color anything there. Actually, there might be. Oh, there is a white crayon. You could color it white. I forgot there was a white crayon. All right, let's see. This one has 1 finger. For the number 1, I'm going to color it red. So I'll change to the red crayon. And I'll go through and I will color all of these spaces until I am finished and I show the picture at the end. Now, this is the most important part. When you're all finished with your activity, there is a blue button right here, and it says the word submit. Submit means that you are giving it to me. You are turning your work in to your teacher because it's telling me that you are all finished. So you'll click the word submit, and it'll be all finished, and you'll get this screen that tells me that you are all finished. Now that you've watched the video, I want you to go on and do the math activity for today.